passion for years and years. Now I have it, and oh, it's kind of weird.
Hi everyone, my name is Irene and I'm a junior at ECG here. I'm the student council historian and this is the first video in our new series of student spotlights. And today I'm here with Ashu. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
All right. Hey, my name is Ashu. I'm in the 11th grade here. So my activity that we're going to be talking about is my singing journey. I've been singing for about 9 years so far.
So, why did you start singing?
It's kind of a long story. I was so young. I think my parents just figured out I had a knack for it, and I just enjoyed it. Like I enjoy singing singing along to the radio in the car, and like singing for like my family, friends, and everything. So I guess they figured out I had a knack for it.
How do you practice singing?
How do I practice? I practice in the shower. And that's what I do. I make it intentional. Try to practice in the shower because like. The acoustics in my bathroom are really good. And
Yeah.
also I feel like just incorporating it into your day makes it seem like less of a daunting task.
What makes you enjoy singing so much?
Just like everything about it, I feel like it's amazing that my body can produce these beautiful sounds. And that's like, it's not like I have to like do something, like I have to hold something physically for it to do it. It's just something that comes from me, which I think gives me a special connection to my art because it's very personal to me. And also with singing, it's just like I've been doing it for so long that like sometimes it just becomes like natural to me when I'm learning a new piece or something. It's just sort of like comes to me, and that's really nice. But then also having a challenge is nice too. Just like knowing that this is like a hard piece, but you can be able to overcome this in a certain amount of time because you've been doing it.
So what are you working on right now?
So right now I'm singing The Phantom of the Opera from The Phantom
Oh my
of the
gosh,
Opera.
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one, that's challenging. That's been probably the hardest piece I've worked on.
So what has been your biggest challenge with singing?
With singing, I feel like the biggest challenge has definitely been like my stage fright. I used to have like really, really, really bad stage fright, and sometimes it still does get bad, but I've gotten used to managing it. Like at the talent show, I wasn't too nervous for that because I'm like, oh, this is just rinse and repeat. I've done this before. But yeah, that's definitely the biggest challenge of it.
And what she didn't mention is that she's really, really good at singing. So yeah, this summer, or no, when was it? It was in November.
Yeah.
She went to Carnegie Hall to perform.
Okay, that was surreal, definitely. It was my second time going, and I think the first time I went, I was just so like young that I didn't really fully understand what was happening. Like of course I knew about Carnegie Hall, but it just like I was so young and I was just sort of like excited to just be there. But with the second program I did, which I did through the honors performance series, it was like so immersive, and I felt like it was definitely tiring. We were in rehearsal for 7.5 hours
Oh my gosh.
every day, and I think the day of the performance that morning we had a 4-hour rehearsal. But you also like got to meet the people in your group, and you got to like socialize with them, and I made so many new friends through that, and we also just got to explore the city, which was like really cool.
What did you learn from the program?
What did I learn? I think it really made me push my limits, not only with learning the repertoire, but also just socially, like just being in that, like I feel like being in that environment where everyone was so driven was kind of intimidating at first because you feel like everyone's better than you, and it's very intimidating. But as you get closer to them, you just realize they're people that have a love for music just like you. And also with the music, it was so hard. Like our conductor definitely like pushed us. Just through that experience, I've gotten so much better.
So why don't we talk about your first time versus your second time at Carnegie a little bit more?
Yeah.
So how old were you the first time?
First time I was 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was little.
And what program was that?
This was through the Greensboro Youth Chorus. I sang soprano one, which is like the highest part, but I think for that one, she made me an alto one, which was hard for me just because, like, one, I wanted to be hitting the high notes. That's like, it was like a pride thing. And I was like a little kid. It was funny, but now I look back on it, it was funny. It was not funny to me then. I made some friends, but I guess when I was 11, I was kind of more introverted. Like, I wasn't really, like, you know, able to, like, talk to people as easily as I can now. So that was definitely something that changed from then to when I went in November. But then the second time was, yeah, I feel like I've touched on this, but again, I feel like the social part of it was a bit more, it was challenging, but I feel like after I sort of got over that initial hurdle of, like, I don't know anybody here, oh my gosh, everyone's out to get me. It was good. And I feel like seeing all the landmarks and everything was really cool. Like, we were staying, like, right at Times Square. So that was really nice. And then we got to go to Cane's. I still remember that, Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane, oh my gosh.
that was definitely, I almost feel like we saw so many cool things, but Raising Cane's was almost the highlight of my trip. Because I feel like I got to, one, the food was good. That's, like, their flagship store. And also, like, I got to know my fellow, like choir mates
So
so
you got
much
to talk
better
to
there.
them?
Yeah, I got to know them, like, so much better. So
So what would be your biggest piece of advice for people, like, applying to this program?
there's no such thing as dipping your toes in. You have to, like, completely, when it's singing, you have to, like, completely dive in, because it's such a personal thing, like, you and your voice. It's such a personal thing, like, only you know when it hurts and you might be doing something wrong. Only you know when something feels good, or when something, you know, when you feel like you've been improving. So just putting yourself out there, like, if you're interested, like, even if you have the slightest interest, just take a lesson. If you have the means, you just take a lesson and see how you feel about it. And then, who knows, you might keep taking lessons, and then eventually you'll develop into a really great singer. It's really, like, mind over matter. Just, like, go for it. That's really my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah, that makes sense. So especially for ECG Kids, a lot of people may think, like, oh, we're just, like, studying all day, but you have, like, this huge activity that's also, like, very artistic.
Yeah.
So specifically for ECG Kids, how would you recommend them, like, balancing activities and their schoolwork?
So ECG did definitely sort of limit my participation a little bit, but I was still able to manage it by just taking once a week voice lessons, or things that didn't require so much commitment. So I think that there are some sacrifices that ECG does require you to make, but it's still definitely manageable. Like, there's still a way for you to pursue your interests and to, you know, do what you love. And honestly, I think the best way to do that is to join, like, an ECG club. Because obviously I'm gonna, like, brag about myself. NAC, really great club.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would definitely I think that's one great way to balance it, because then you sort of, like, you don't have to, like, put in the work of having to commute to certain places, because you're already there. You just stop by for a few minutes after school, and that's definitely one great way. And it still shows that you're active in extracurriculars and you're active in your school community too, so that's really great. Even though you are a student first, I think music is just such a great escape into, like, being somewhere where you can just relax and be yourself. And it's, like, a great de-stressing tool. So
Yeah, I agree. And for some context, Ashu founded a club called National Arts Competition. And it's basically, well, why don't you explain it?
Yeah, National Arts Competition. This is our first year, and we have about 11 dedicated members, so I'm really excited about that. It is, yeah, as the name says, it's a national competition where you can submit across 10 artistic, literary, performing arts divisions. And basically, some of the opportunities you can get from that are that you can go to Miami for a week and just study your chosen division, or you can win a presidential scholarship. So that's really cool.
This is a really huge deal. So.
Yeah.
Also, Ashu recently got into governor's school. How did you prepare for that audition, and how was the experience with that?
Yeah, gov school was so nerve-wracking. I think one thing was homecoming was right before the day I recorded my videos. So, yeah. That's definitely, I mean, now that I look back on it, I don't think I did as bad as I thought I did, but but with governor school, I think it was such a nerve-wracking thing because, again, one, it's such a prestigious program with people from across the state, and I just remember Miss Webster showing us, like, the admission rates for, like, going on from the district to the state level, and I think choral music was, like, 5%.
Yeah, that's
like,
insane.
And I think natural science was, like, 12. So
Oh my
I was
God.
like, yeah. Yeah, that was insane. So, that was definitely nerve-wracking, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a shot because it's better to give it a shot and, you know, not get in than be like, you could have gotten in, but you didn't even try because you were so scared of failing.
Right, and you would never know.
Yeah, you'd never know. Like, I'd rather give it my all and not get in. But yeah, so I did get in.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, but back on topic, that was definitely preparing for that. Like, preparing some of the music for that was, again, a challenge because it was more of like a classical thing. And I am a classical singer, but like leading up to it, I was sort of branching out of classical repertoire and going into musical theater just because I wanted to try something different. So I was kind of like getting back into that type of singing. So that was definitely a challenge, and also just like making sure, because you have to record your audition video, so just making sure everything was perfect.
Yeah, and I know you work really hard on singing, so when do you know or how to take a break?
I mean, the first sign to take a break is that if your throat hurts. That's definitely the first sign. But also just like knowing when you've done something so many times, it just continually gets worse. Like, like when I'm trying to learn like a section of a song and I get it a couple times, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm not getting it just because I've done it so many times. That's definitely a sign to take a break. And also just like, you know, taking care of your voice too.
Who is your biggest inspiration when it comes to singing?
Biggest inspiration? Honestly, I really started singing because I liked Adele's songs when I was a kid. But like, I don't know, I haven't really listened to her music in a while, but I guess that's the closest thing. And also like people who inspired me to keep going, definitely like the people I've met along the way. You guys, my friends, my ECG community definitely has inspired me to keep going because just like I remember when I got into Carnegie Hall, you guys all like came together and you all really were really happy for me, so that really touched me. So yeah,
I remember that day, like it was in seminar or something.
Yes.
And then like Julie was like, oh, like Ashu's going to Carnegie Hall, like oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it was so amazing. So you mentioned musical theater, and wait, you told me before that you've like taken lessons from the Raise Your Ya person.
Yes. I went to a summer camp. It's called Destination Broadway, and Jody Langle, that's her name. This is before she got famous, but yeah, Jody was just such a sweet person. Like honestly, like her personality is just infectious. Like she'd light up a room, and yeah, it was just really great getting to know her and the whole program as a whole. It was definitely tiring, but we were all tired together, and I made such great friends from that. So,
What are your future goals or plans with singing?
I never really thought of singing as a career for me, just because like I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I've always had an interest in medicine. Singing for me has been a passion, but it's not been something I'd want to like pursue as a career, just because, you know, I wanted to keep it as like a passion, something for me, you know. So I guess some of my future goals would just be, you know, like maybe like joining a choir, joining an a cappella group. You know, I'm already doing those things, so that's great. Yeah, just really like finding ways to stay involved in my community through it. So that's definitely some of my goals.
Yeah. So Ashu has also been a part of a cappella club, part of the founding members of it.
Yeah.
Here. So how was that experience?
I honestly love a cappella club. Yeah. It's definitely quite demanding, but I feel like it's manageable just because I've been singing for so long. But I feel like you get to the competition and it's just completely worth it. And it's just like you just get that dopamine rush. Last year we got 3rd place, and yeah, that was really cool.
Oh yes.
And I also won an individual recognition both in my sophomore and my freshman year.
Oh wow.
So I've been trying to find ways to stay focused on my singing through clubs here at ECG, and definitely with like my voice lessons, just my private voice lessons. And I feel like now that I'm a junior, my focus has sort of become getting into these like programs more, getting into programs, things that I can like showcase my skills and that'll strengthen my resume, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what has changed as you've like gotten better and improved in singing?
That's a really good question. um, so what's changed? Definitely, I can see myself, not struggling anymore with things I previously struggled with. It's really rewarding to see that like I've been working so hard at this for so long, and it's 100% paid off. Conquering a piece that was difficult for me, and now I can do it. Like that is the most satisfying thing about singing to me.
Just like looking back and seeing like, oh, I like really couldn't sing this or whatever like a few months ago, and now I can.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely the best part about it. And when you've like gotten better, like you've been singing constantly for so long, it's just like you keep those skills. Almost you keep improving, and you can just look back on it and you're like, oh, I learned that a while ago. If I just gotta brush out the cobwebs, and then I can probably sing it again. Yeah.
So it's just like a confidence thing, like.
Oh, definitely. Confidence has definitely been like an improvement.
Okay, so before we go, Ashu's gonna sing something from her audition for Carnegie Hall.
It's a classical piece. It's in Italian, and it's called.
Oh my gosh.
It's called Danza Danza Fanciulla Gentile, and don't ask me what that translates to because I have no idea.
So you just, all right.
Yeah, we're gonna see if I still got it. Danza, danza, fanciulla, al mio cantar. Danza, danza, fanciulla gentile, al mio cantar. Gira leggera, sottile, al suono delle onde del mar.
Oh my gosh, bro, I feel so lucky to hear this. That's it for today's episode. I'm so happy to have talked with you, Ashu.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe.